Hey everybody. I got to activate a few national parks with the ham radio last week. If you've never heard of something like this before, I'm a part of Parks on the Air, and so what it is it's just an organization that ham radio operators go out to national parks or national monuments and play radio, and then other people see if they can hear the ham operator or communicate with the ham operator at the park. It's a lot of fun. And I got to do it at two different parks last week. I was at Three Rivers National Petroglyph Site over here by Three Rivers, New Mexico. And then later in the day, I was at Oregon Mountains National Monument, or it's called Oregon Mountains Desert Peaks National Monument. Um, and I got to using the mapping software that I've been working on, get lots of interesting information. And so I'm going to put some links in the chat. So the mapping software lives at this address on GitHub, and it's open source. Um, and what you can do with that is map your reverse beacon network spots, and then I've slowly evolved it to where I can put in my own QSOs. So what you see here is the green lines are QSOs I made on a day, and the blue lines are where people spotted me on the reverse beacon network. And so started on the 27th, and here's the interesting thing. So I was up in Three Rivers, and this is really cool. I got to make some contacts. So two up here in Utah, and then one, the Little Rock Mite, reached all the way out to just inside. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is actually Wisconsin. I think it's just outside the Illinois border. No, no, it looks like it's in. Just in. Hard to say. Heard it both ways. Nope, nope, nope. That's in Illinois. And so that was cool. But then the really interesting thing that I wanted to find out about is when I got over here at Oregon Mountains, I went to our normal campsite, and let me get the map a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit bigger still, and a third time. There we go. Went to our normal campsite, sat out on our little rock where we read books in the sun, and immediately was spotted in California, and that seemed really weird because the mountains back here behind this campsite are huge. Um, so if we look at the mountains, you are sitting under just a huge set of mountains at this campsite. Kind of so huge, I still can't get them zoomed in. Zoom out a little bit more. Try to angle it a little more. Yep. And so what I was curious about was I'm sitting at the campsite, and somehow, with these mountains off to the west, I am hitting California. Um, Later in the week, I hiked up to a pass, and long story short, what I eventually found out, mostly using the mapping software, is that from our little rock at our campsite, oopsie, let's get a little more vertical here and get back over to the campsite. Yep. So from our campsite rock, this is the line going out to California. And what you can see is it goes right through the pass of the mountains. So I'm going to try and zoom in there again. Get a little better heading. There we go. And then tilt the map back down. And there we go. And what you can see is sitting here, the path for the radio. And it just goes straight over the pass. So California wasn't over here and it wasn't over here, but it was right through the pass out there. And then off and across to California. So that was kind of cool thing, and I didn't see this till days, actually about 2 days, well, actually days later. because a couple days after that, I hiked up to this pass just for the fun of it to run the radio, and that was the next activation I did at the station. So let me pull that one in, and it's kind of even cooler because you can see more of um, what is going on as far as do mountains matter to radios, and it turns out they do. You kind of get the idea with that pass. Let's look at where did the 30th go? Probably test C, I bet. Yep, that was it. So the day of the 30th, I went back and I broadcast off the rock a little bit. And that was fun. And again, we went out and hit California. But later in the day, I actually got to go up to the pass itself. And all kinds of cool stuff starts to come out. So first off, what you can see is I'm upside of the hill here. So there's a pass and there's a low spot that we looked at. And then I started coming up the hill. And as I came up the hill, what you see is most of the signals in all of the spots for this pass go around the mountains. So they do not go through that peak. A couple go over the peak. They still miss the peak. And those two are headed out to Denver is where they're eventually headed. You notice, and I think we've skipped up, so I think this is just a nice feature. But here, they again, they're going through the low spots here. And then we also got spotted that morning, the little radio and I, when I say we, in Canada. And so if you take a look at this line, it's cute. It is skirting two different sets of mountains. So there's Quartzite Mountain. And then it also skirts this range right here. So that's 1755, 1717, and that's 2000 there. And it just skirts right by them. And straight lines up to Canada, which is, around here. So that was kind of cool. And again, you can see as far as QSOs made, either side of the mountains, but never in the middle. There goes that path off to California again. We've got a path to Utah and a path out here to, I believe, Oregon. Yep. And they're fun because you can see there's Utah, there's Oregon. And this is what? Arizona? Reno. So yeah, Oregon and Utah both just cruise out one side of this set of peaks. Here, the peak that I was sitting right in front of. Denver goes over, but Denver goes actually much shorter than all the rest. I don't know, I'm guessing, but I do not know that the mountain actually blocked a certain amount of signal, because you can see I'm sitting down on the side of a saddle here.